So, good morning, everyone. We are starting with our discussion environmental science. On environmental science, the first topic is already over. Environment, different components like atmosphere, the major features we have discussed. Now, second one, the hydrosphere. Third one, lithosphere, the soil component. And the fourth one, biosphere. Actually, not a segment, but all those three together comprise that part. And we know how it is made up of all the living organisms and the level of interaction. This is the first topic, and hope you have a clear cut idea about it. And the second topic, actually, we wrote it on the board, the details, but we couldn't discuss that completely on the last in the last class. So let me just try explaining with the major points that come under this particular topic. Hope you are aware of the idea. Second topic is effect of environment degradation, examples and effects on population. So how this environmental degradation. Now we are into the topic. After learning the components of the environment, after learning about the components or features of the environment, now the real uh, relevance of learning such a topic like environmental science is about looking into the details for the effects. What are the effects or negative impact of on environment because of the human interruption? That's what we are going to have a look at. Effects on environment degradation, and we will see some examples and effects on population. How it will come back to us, the people, the human beings itself, or any of the living organisms in general, how it is going to affect us negatively because of the degradation. Degradation is the quality lack because of human interruption and many other uh, reasons like pollution, which you will discuss. You will have a discussion in detail with the module 3, 4 and 5. Air pollution, yeah, uh, water pollution and land pollution. Different kinds of pollution you will discuss. You will have an idea with those three modules. Before that, we will have a brief picture on this as well. Human population, it rapidly increases. The first point is about human population and the rapid increase. Human beings are the organism, the sector that causes all the negative impact, all because of their activity. This environment, our earth, the atmosphere, everything gets polluted or affected in a negative way. None of the other organisms cause any of such activities. They do not go for deforestation or any other type of harmful activities because of their greed or interruption. This earth or its atmosphere do not get affected. So this population increase in itself is problematic because human beings, they take up or they cause a lot of changes because of their interruption, their activities, their attempt to change the face of earth by building or many other technological development. We claim about all this, but in effect, it causes or it affects everything in a very bad way, in a very negative way. So, this human population and rapid increase, rapid means speedily increase. How does it affect? How does it become cause negative impact on the atmosphere? The reason is, yeah, with the increase in population, the need and their interruption on environment in a negative way also increases. That is the problem. And you see various technologies we use. We are urgently in want of technical development. And how it becomes or how it causes negative impact on Earth and its atmosphere. That's very important to be noted down. Please be on time. Yes. So various technologies we use. So now even in the context of online sessions, online teaching, we know technology is very important, urgent. But we know about e-wastes and all. Think about the devices that you use. After a while, after some 5 or 6 years of usage, you change your phone or you change your laptop. It is definitely becoming an e-waste because after you are throwing away, most of you hesitate to give it for refurnishing, rebrushing and all. And second hand devices also is not really preferred by many. So here this technology, with the advent of technology, advancement of technology, we develop in personally and professionally, we have growth. See, in the context of COVID-19 pandemic, immediately everything got shut down. So our education as such didn't get affected because we had technical development. But along with that, we come across such problems like e-waste, those that content management. It has become totally impossible. Almost it has become really impossible. All the e-waste and many other different other waste produced by human consumption, human activity, began to affect the earth and its atmosphere totally. So that is the impact of this rapid increase in population. And before 1900, no city with a population of 5 million existed. That's the next statement, main point under this topic. Before 1900, no city with a population of 5 million existed. But now now we talk about population explosion. And if human beings coexist together with the awareness of the need to keep everything intact for the future generation and their own sake, it would have been good. But we are causing harm to the atmosphere in general or environment in general. That's the problem. അല്ലെ നമ്മൾ ആ ഒരു അവയർനെസ്സിൽ ഇങ്ങനെ പോവുകയാണെങ്കിൽ പ്രോബ്ലം ഒന്നുമില്ല. പക്ഷെ നമ്മൾ എന്താണ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്? Always taking all the or causing all the harmful impact on earth and its atmosphere. വയലുകൾ നികത്തുക, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ വാട്ടർ റിസോഴ്സസ് പൊല്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്യുക, ഇതെല്ലാം എപ്പോഴാണ് വരുന്നത്? ഇപ്പോൾ when you have a population explosion, people coexist in very small areas. Think about slum. Too many people live there together. So water availability, resource availability, everything gets affected. Then hygienic problems will pop up. Then pandemics will begin to affect. So everywhere you come across this problem, as because we are more in want of resources, unlike other organisms. We know, see, technology. None of the animals is in want of technology or technical assistance, but we are in want of. Year after year, our requirements, it goes in a very it goes moves on. We cannot be satisfied with anything. Like, see, even people are who throw away phones because next model came, so that I would like to change this. So you are producing an e-waste. This is the problem with the population explosion. So tremendous human activities tremendous means great, very great human activities, much uncontrollable way of development activities. All these are causing difficulties as such. It changed the physical environment, especially in the case of this building activities. Mainly we can talk about the building based activities, related activities, where you're changing the face of the environment. Let me ask you, if the audio is clear, right? Audio is
Yes,
clear?
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. So tremendous human activities means you're doing a lot on environment, and there you have to think about the buildings to construct a building. You are changing the face of the land. You cut a lot of trees. There in one way or other, you are causing harm to the environment. An out of balance. So there is an out of balance with the nature. You know how important trees, basic activity of photosynthesis is for the basic need of human being, like fresh air. We don't usually think about that. When we are involved or we are running behind constructing new buildings, behind other technological development based activities, we never think about photosynthesis, the relevance of that, even the importance of trees. When you cut down a lot of trees, you never think about the importance, how the from the base level, how important those are for our existence, our own sustaining of life, how important is each of the tree, each of the plant, even the minute plant is. We never think. So we are always thinking about the highest aspects, like building more and more stories, STORI, stories. Story means the നിലകളിൽ നമ്മൾ കുറേ എടുക്കുന്ന skyscrapers. We want to build skyscrapers, but you never count the number of trees you cut down in between. So there is an out of balance with the nature due to all this. The problems. We need a sound environment knowledge, and that's how this paper itself becomes very important. So UGC has recommended this paper or made it an additional, compulsory course for every undergraduate course because of this reason. So you need a sound environment knowledge, and you have human induced environment change. We know almost all the changes, negative or undesirable change in the on the face of environment, on the face of earth, is human induced itself, induced or caused by human beings. And the major issues that we come across is global warming and many other climatic changes. In the past, we used to say like, this is the time of monsoon. We have to expect rain during this season. We have summer during this season. But nowadays, even we can witness within 2 or 3 years, we come across the kind of shift in climatic condition. മഴയുള്ള ഒരു സമയത്തൊന്നുമല്ല മഴ പെയ്യുന്നത്. ചില നേരത്ത് നമ്മൾ മഴയുള്ള സമയത്ത് വെയിൽ വരും, ഭയങ്കര അൺലൈക്ലി, ഇൻടോളറബിൾ ഹോട്ട് ക്ലൈമാറ്റ്. ആൻഡ് ഈവൻ ഇപ്പൊ പറയുന്ന സൺലൈറ്റ് റിലേറ്റഡ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഡ്യൂറിങ് സമ്മർ സീസൺ വി ഹാവ് സൂര്യതാപം എന്നൊക്കെ ഒരുപാട് പുതിയ പുതിയ പ്രോബ്ലംസ് ആണ്. ന്യൂ പ്രോബ്ലംസ്, ന്യൂ ഡിഫിക്കൽട്ടീസ് come into. So these are actually, we are the reason for all this. We are the reason for all these human induced environment change, or global warming, climatic changes. We always complain as if we don't know anything about this. We have nothing to do with this. But the problem is with us, within our own stances and our own activities. So the technological solutions. Later we have to use our own technologies to find out solutions. You will learn about the solutions we can try with in modules related to pollution, the disposing techniques, waste management. You will have to use your own technology to find out solutions. Otherwise, yeah, living on earth itself will become a threatening or a impossible idea. You cannot go and take buy some land in other planets. Only earth and its features make it possible to sustain life because of the basic availability of the basic requirements like food, water, fresh air. All these are the basic necessities. We forget about these because we are running behind the technology and other uh, uh, new new concerns, or the unending concerns, like we are becoming more complicated, sophisticated. Our life is becoming more complicated. Think about the buildings. Nowadays we have only concrete building. And we even now we some people talk about the roof with a tile, like ഈ മൺ ഓടിൻ്റെ വീടൊക്കെ ഇപ്പോഴും നമ്മളിപ്പോൾ ഒരു if it is during summer and all, if you visit such houses, the old model houses, you can feel the difference. ഈ കോൺക്രീറ്റ് ബിൽഡിങ്സ് ഉണ്ടല്ലോ അതിൻ്റെ ഉള്ളിൽ നിൽക്കുക ഭയങ്കര, ഈവൻ നൗ ഇൻ ഇന്ത്യൻ ക്ലൈമറ്റ് ഡസൻ സപ്പോർട്ട് ഇറ്റ്. ഒരു ഇൻടോളറബിൾ ഹീറ്റാണ് അതിൻ്റെ ഉള്ളിൽ. അതേസമയം മറ്റേതെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ കുറച്ചും കൂടി എന്താ ലിവിങ് പോസിബിൾ ആണ്, കുറച്ചും കൂടി ആ ഒരു കംഫർട്ടിങ് ആണ്. അപ്പൊ നമ്മൾ പക്ഷെ എന്ത് ചെയ്യുവാണ്, ഈവൻ വി ആർ ഇൻ വാണ്ട് ഓഫ് സംതിങ് ന്യൂ. ഐ വുഡ് ലൈക്ക് ടു സീ സം പേഴ്സൺ ഇസ് ട്രൈങ് ടു ജോയിൻ. Please be on time. Okay. So global warming, climate changes, technological solutions. Now we are in want of. At least the waste disposal and all you can try with some technological solutions. Like we'll come across that. Certain terms are there, like incineration. Processes will be taught by the teacher when she is dealing with the modules on pollution. Different kinds of pollutions need different kind of solution, like air pollution. How we can find solution for air pollution. It's not the same with the land pollution or water pollution. You need some other methods, and it's high time that we think about all this in a very serious manner. And to minimize the impact of pollution, it's about to minimize the impact of environment pollution, we need technical solutions. Okay, so next is the third topic, Environmental Protection Act, which is very important. Before that, I would like to do justice to our discussion by reading out at least the notes that you are going to write down on these topics. Let me take that. Lecture note, but this is the note. Yes. First module, brief discussion on the components of the environment. This is just about 7 pages. And the second main topic is effect of effect. So you please note down these two terms, effect and effect. It's very important that you note down the difference between the two. Effect is the result of something. Effect of environmental degradation with example. Effect, the result of environment degradation. How we are going to be affected. Effect is noun. Phala, environment degradation the phala endaanennalleyanu. Affect in one term, you just think about the term affect. Affect is a verb. How it is going to affect you, how it is going to have an impact on you. These two difference and you please note down. Sometimes we have to use both simultaneously. Affecting the environmental quality. Affecting, effect ഇഫക്റ്റിംഗ് എന്ന് പറയില്ല, EFFECT പറയില്ല, ബിക്കോസ് ഇറ്റ്സ് എ നൗൺ. ഇഫക്റ്റ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഫലം എന്ന് മാത്രമാണ്. Okay, yes, and the effect on population. Again, population, how it is affected. AFFECTED, because it's a verb. Now, then the next topic will be brief outline of the Environment Protection Act of 1986. It should be discussed, including effect on companies, contravention, penalties, and return requirement. Then relevance of environment legislation to business enterprise. This will come under the same discussion, same topic. Then relevance of environment legislation to business enterprise, or legislation versus social obligation of business. How when we go for some other business-based activities, how we should remain conscious of our commitment towards nature or environment. Then at last we will discuss role of NGOs, non-governmental organizations like Greenpeace, in the environmental protection. Environmental protection in general. It should be capital. Then the brief discussion on the components of the environment. Environmental studies, the introduction I told you, the different disciplines. We will have to take different disciplines in the discussion. Like, you cannot always say that this is only what is the only environmental science has something to do with the protection of environment. Sometimes we have to make use of art, literature, religion. Religious studies also can bring you some the awareness or your role in protecting the environment. Literature, how literature can be, literature and its domain can be made use to bring awareness. Think about a poet writing about the degradation, the negative impact. There you start thinking about, you read a poem about it, read a poem on that. Sometimes there is some of the poems, at least we get an awareness from that. So it's not just about environmental studies, but you have to integrate multiple disciplines. That's the term. Discipline is a term that is not just about, its one meaning is definitely about the classroom based discipline or the kind of decorum, but it is a term that stands for different areas of studies like the science, history, art. Science is very important to talk about photosynthesis, what happens in between. History, how important it was, how better the situation had been before 1900. History will talk about that. Art, literature, you draw a picture of a land degradation. You portray the JCB, lot of human beings cutting the tree, and that picture, without speaking a word, it can say a lot. A painting or a drawing. Literature, poems on that, short fictions on that, whole novels on that. Audio clarity issues? Anything? What is that?
Journals പറഞ്ഞേ, literature.
Sorry? Literature, journal, obviously journals, exactly. Thank you for reminding. Journal, literature based or reading based journals. It's very urgent to note down, because you have extreme recent writings, recent updations on environment, the problems available in journals itself. Journal reading is very important, because we have books based, literature based books, everything as such, but journals are every moment it is getting updated, like bi-monthlies, weeklies. There you can get the updation on such contemporary or relevant issues. Thank you for reminding that. And religion based teaching. Sometimes you may be getting moral learning, like how important it is to be harmonious with everything, the coexistence, how we are committed towards other fellow human beings and fellow creatures, fellow beings, fellow animals. That is important. Laws. The laws will talk about the Protection Act, Environmental Protection Act, and different other acts based related to this. Economics. How it is related to this. Yeah, even the waste management technology, using technology for the purpose of environment protection, how you can manage the financial or statistics of a nation, financial statistics, how important it is for every nation to find out or keep a basic uh, part of its wealth for the sake of protecting environment. So it's very important. അല്ലെ, യുദ്ധം അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അങ്ങനെയുള്ള കാര്യങ്ങൾക്ക് മാത്രം മാറ്റി വെച്ചാൽ മതിയോ? Every nation should be aware of this relevance. Like even cleaning the roads is part of the ruling, part of the official management of a national area wise. You can manage. Sometimes we come across certain roads or municipal areas which are never cleaned. ഔപചാരികളൊക്കെ ഒരു 5-6 ദിവസം അത് വേസ്റ്റ് മാനേജ്മെന്റ് നടത്തി. വേസ്റ്റ് മാനേജ്മെന്റ് ഒക്കെയും ഈ പറയുന്ന ഇതിന്റെ തന്നെ ഭാഗമാണ്. നമ്മളെ ഒരു എന്താ പറയാ, റൂളിങ്ങിന്റെ തന്നെ ഭാഗമായിട്ട് വരുന്നതാണ്. അതായത് ഒരു പർട്ടിക്കുലർ ഏരിയ അവിടെയുള്ള ഗവൺമെന്റിന്റെ തന്നെ അണ്ടറിൽ വരുന്നതാണ്. അപ്പോൾ ആ ഒരു എക്കണോമിക്സ് ഹാസ് എ ലോട്ട് ടു ഡു വിത്ത് ദാറ്റ് മാനേജ്മെന്റ്. എക്കോളജി, definitely ecology is the next module. We will talk maximum about this. Philosophy, you can connect with the literature, the philosophical ideas. So generalizable knowledge is very important. Knowledge, see, integrating all these disciplines to talk about the relevance of environment is very urgent at present. It has become a contemporary issue of the present. And the impact, our impact on this is very important to be noted down. So it's a systematic study of our environment and our proper place in it. So environmental science is a systematic study. I told you how important it is to study something systematically. It's unlike you are reading something for the examination from here and there. Instead of that, you take time to learn something. Effort to learn every nook and corner of the topic, if not at a undergraduate level. That's why we tell you never to stick on to the notes just given by the teachers. You can read a lot on the topic. If you come to note down that this is urgent, important, this is very important to know and to be aware of the relevance of all these. Okay. Then environment, the components anyway I'm not going to read out. Atmosphere, hydrosphere, lithosphere, biosphere. Please try to read and have an idea. Please complete the note at the earliest. Okay, yes. Then this part I would like to read out as a note itself. Effect on environment degradation, examples and effect on population. There is a quote just took from the text that I referred. There is enough on this planet for everybody's needs, but not anybody's greed. Why I wanted to read out this part at least in the class itself is the module wise lecture note is about shortening the content, explaining things based on that, and how a note will be adding something based on that only. Like ഒരു കോണ്ടന്റും അതിൽ വിടൂല. ഇതിൽ ഏറ്റവും ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻ്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള എല്ലാ കാര്യങ്ങളും ആ മൊഡ്യൂൾ ബേസ്ഡ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ലെക്ചർ നോട്ടിൽ കാണാൻ പറ്റും. സോ ഈവൻ ദോ യു ആർ നോട്ട് ലേണിംഗ് ദിസ് പാർട്ട് ബൈ ഹാർട്ട്, അറ്റ്ലീസ്റ്റ് try to recollect the short notes. Okay, yes. Nature effects. See, think about Mahatma Gandhi's statement. If you want, you can add it in your answer based something somewhere. Like it should not be always the question based on environmental degradation. Even somewhere on some of the essays, if you want, you can add this as an additional content. That's all. There is enough on this planet for everybody's need, but not anybody's greed. ആവശ്യത്തിന് യൂസ് ചെയ്യാൻ എല്ലായിടത്തും ഉണ്ട്, ആവശ്യത്തിന് ഈ പ്ലാനറ്റിൽ തന്നെ ഉണ്ട്, but not for anybody's greed. Then how it reads like thing, nature affects mankind and human pursuits connected with the nature in every part of the globe. Human pursuits like human activities based on technology and many other facilities related to life or our daily life needs. Nature has not suddenly stepped up its activities. By the end of the session we talked about the climatic changes and all. അതൊന്നും പെട്ടെന്ന് വരുന്നതല്ല. എന്താണ്, it's not about a sudden stepping up of its activities like climatic changes or something else. But human population has increased rapidly. See, the major idea in this part is that it's a human population. Didn't you get that in the short note? Yes. Rapidly, and the various technologies, next main point, we use today require ever-increasing inputs of energy. That's why we have started exploiting the land, consuming too much of fresh water, groundwater, so that you already know how the availability is limited by 1% or 2%. The total available water resource, not freshwater resource. Freshwater is just 1% of the total hydrosphere component of the environment. That is used or exploited in a way, exploiting that particular content, even available content for various technological activities nowadays. Inputs of energy, space and resources. Space. There you go for degrading the land or cutting the trees. Resources. Trees, everything is a resource. Space. അതുകൊണ്ടല്ലേ നമ്മൾ വയലൊക്കെ നികത്താൻ പോകുന്നത്. In the past it was with the joint families. Nowadays there is no concept as such even. If 5 children are there in a family, 5 of them want 5 different homes. So in the available land, they cut almost all the trees, everything, to find out space to construct buildings. അതാണ് സംഭവിക്കുന്നത്, അല്ലേ? Then next point, didn't you come across this in the short note? Now before 1900, no city with a population of 5 million existed. The tremendous impact of human activities, the same term itself is the activities has changed the physical environment and has put it out of balance with the nature. Tremendous human activities, very important term. Then physical environment, the changes occurring on physical environment. So the out of balance with the nature. These 3 points are already given and the explanation also you got there. Then the problems faced today are directly or indirectly related to the environment, and the solutions need a sound environmental knowledge. Problems are directly or indirectly related to the environment. We don't usually recognize. Sometimes we feel that, I'm just constructing the land, I'm just cutting 5 or 6 trees. Why should I care about it? Or why should I be worried much about it? Just cut 5 trees on my own land. Next in the next area, see, beyond road, next to the road, another person also is thinking the same. Some 6 or 5 people in the same village thinking in the same way, just cutting 5 or 6 trees. But you are causing great impact on the environment. Negative impact. It's not something better, but negative impact on the environment. So you need a solutions and a sound environmental knowledge. Human-induced environmental change. Most of the activities or changes are human-induced. We will come across the ultraviolet rays, the ozone depletion. All these are topics in various modules. Well, we are the reason for all this. Overusing of technology or many other, chlorofluorocarbon that comes out from different advanced technical equipments like washing machine, AC, fridge, mainly fridge and AC, air conditioner. Even during rainy season, some people want air conditioned homes, air conditioned. So this is how we have changed our stance and living style. Our climate always doesn't demand this air condition, but it has become part of our pride and existence. Like that is the problem why we do not fit according to what our nature, our climatic condition demand us to, or how it wants us to be. Even the dressing style, our climate, Indian climate or Caroline climate doesn't demand us to wear cotton suit but very simple dress, because we are not in an Arctic area where every time it is with the ice fall and all. But it has become part and parcel of our lives. And accelerator of over the last 3 decades, this changes our ways, our style of living, and accordingly the environmental changes has accelerated. What do you mean by acceleration? Increasing, accelerating, you are promoting the change knowingly or unknowingly over the last 3 decades because of advanced technologies. Today, the issues such as global warming, climate change, pollution control, and natural resources development and management increasingly require the crossing of established boundaries between disciplines. The very first idea that we discussed today. It's good that we started discussing from the beginning, because the boundaries between disciplines. No, I would like to discuss only environment issues inside the premise of environment science. No, I may require art. See, writing placards is part of art. If you want to see pamphlets, poems, journals, articles, research writings. You cannot say that no, we should remain inside our own. You want to cross disciplines, you want to cross the boundaries, you want an interaction between disciplines to find out the solutions together. Because human beings, though if I belong to art department of English, literature department, you belong to science department, but even now you know how connected we are. Your graduation, the language based courses, how important it is to be introduced at least to some other disciplines. You cannot always stick to no, I have opted for BA English, why should I study Hindi or Arabic? No English student can claim that. I opted for computer science because I don't like literature, I don't like English at all. So why should I learn this speech, tone, intonation, all those? How harassing it is. You cannot say that, because basically after being a graduate you have to know something. In the same way, environment is for all of us. Whether you study science or whether I study literature or some other studies maths, environmental changes, the causes, the threat of such unlikely changes or degradation of the environment. These are not going to look at you like if you belong to, okay, that person studies science. So let me see, environment will never get you such consideration. Acid rain എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ അത് നമ്മളൊരു ഫിലിമിലുണ്ട് സച്ച് എ വെരി ബ്യൂട്ടിഫുൾ പോർട്രേ. ലൈക്ക് കേരളത്തില് ആസിഡ് മഴ പെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്, അപ്പുറത്തില്ല. കേരള ഹൗസ് മൂവി, അതിലങ്ങനെയുണ്ടൊരു സീൻ. ദാറ്റ്സ് നോട്ട് ദ വേ. It's just an ideal, very funny portrayal only. The negative impact will come everywhere. Ozone depletion. Ozone depletion is not like there is some countries only use rapid use of or the uncontrolled use of such air conditions or other technical devices. And that's ozone depletion may be affecting some other areas. So these impacts are not bound to some part of the globe. We all should be aware of, we should all should have awareness regarding these problems and how we can contribute as individuals, as citizens, or as a social being to protect our environment. This should be our matter of concern throughout. So, technological solutions are also needed to minimize the impact of environmental pollution. Okay, with that we come to the closure of discussion for the time being. Environmental Protection Act, if I start today, we won't be able to get it reached anywhere. Okay, for points. Okay, now we will discuss it in the next class. Thank you so much for joining.